Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Wednesday, October 18th. You have tuned into the NFT Morning Show. Today, we are going to discuss the Yuga Labs CEO's surprise message to the Bored Ape Yacht Club and Yuga Labs community, the slowdown in Y00ts bridging to Ethereum, and the meme land FOMO starting to set in. So a lot of meat on the bone today, a lot of stuff to discuss. We got Kix on the show. Kix, how's it going, amigo?
Fantastic, man. Fantastic. Having a good week, having a good October. Can't believe, man, we're already at the end of the year. It's wild.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. We are coming up on the 2-year anniversary of the Nifty, organization. It's kind of wild.
It's crazy, man. 2 years is like 10 in Web3, I feel like.
It's definitely a lot. Easy, how you doing this morning, amigo?
Good, man. Good. We had an enjoyable show this morning. I've been really researching these gaming tokens and what games are launching with them, because right now, Play Big Time has a $160,000 reward for the person in first place on their leaderboard with their token. You got like 4 or 5 other games launching, from Paradigm back to Animoca back stuff. So there seems to be a lot of interest and potential there. I've basically moved away from SocialFi, which a lot of people are telling me I'm dumb for doing. But at this point, I just enjoy the gaming side of things, and there seems to be a lot of potential there.
Like, how could you possibly be dumb for moving away from, like, what is SocialFi even?
Yeah, I don't know. A lot of people were not happy when I was like, I asked the question this morning. I was like, is SocialFi dead? And someone was like, that it's never dying. I was like, oh, my bad. Sorry. Oops.
Nick, what do you think of SocialFi? Networks like FriendTech.
I mean, it's the future. I actually do think there's like something that's interesting there. The fact that people are calling it SocialFi is kind of hilarious, because it's not finance, it's social gambling, basically. Like, it's not yes, there's a financial component to it, but it doesn't feel the same as, like, there was a period of time called SoMo, which was Social Mobile Local, which was when like Foursquare came out. I was building an app during that time. The founders of Clubhouse had built an app called Highlight around that time. There were a bunch of different apps where it was like, yo, location is going to be a big thing when it comes to social apps. Interestingly enough, nobody uses any of those things anymore. Like, I'm trying to think of like check it. Instead, it's become integrated into like Instagram, for example, where location is really important. So people browse by location to check out like what's going on at that spot. I think Snapchat also integrated it into their sort of map situation, where you can see where people are at and what they're up to. And so that just became like part of the native infrastructure. The gambling on price action, to me, is one that's really interesting, but I think it's more like monetization of creators is really what it's all about. And that's something that's already been in progress. This was one where suddenly the monetization, I mean, I signed up for that Star, what was
Star
Atlas?
Arena.
Arena.
Stars Arena. So I signed up for Stars Arena, immediately made $500 without doing anything. Like, apparently people were buying my token, but I didn't even realize it. Unfortunately, that was hacked.
Oops,
so
how'd that happen?
What's that?
Like, the $500 appeared out of nowhere. How'd that happen?
No, I actually genuinely did not know that, like, immediately people were going to buy. I thought I had to at least like turn it on or something like that.
I think the same thing happened to me, because someone said, Kix, I bought your shares in Stars Arena. I never even completed the login. So I was like, hopefully you didn't get scammed. But I completely agree with you, Nick. I definitely think that there's something there. But like, one thing I've been doing some, introspection on Web3 in general, and I was looking back at some things that were hot last year. I think the real test for anything is like, check back in 6 months, right? And if no one really cares about it anymore, then you can put it into like 4-digit ENS domains, right? Like, I have a belief that anything can stay hot in this space with the amount of people that will like pump a narrative for 3 months. You can make anything, literally pictures of poo, like a poo PFP emoji. You can make it hot for 3 months. You could, but like, check back in 6 months, check back in a year. I think that's why Easy probably is so excited about gaming because gaming's been around since the beginning of PFPs with Top Shot and
that 2-year thesis. We're now at the 2-year mark where games are actually playable, which I'm like, finally, because we've been saying for 2 years, once they're playable, they become significantly more interesting. And now the game has to be fun to get users versus just an idea has to be cool, which is like a nice paradigm shift of the thesis that we've had for so long now. It's like a great shift in narrative right now.
Regardless, the whole situation is, so I think SocialFi, the way that it was structured, doesn't make sense. The bonding curve dynamic is really the thing that makes no sense there. I saw Patreon posted, the founder of that posted an update about how they're expanding their functionality. And they're trying to become like an all-in-one creator solution, essentially, where you can do also like live podcasts that you're paying for. I think X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, is like competing directly with sort of those creator platforms. I don't know which one's better, honestly. Like it's hard for me to say that for Web3, obviously, I don't think creators here are going to go to Patreon, but I do think that
yeah, depending on how your feet look, OnlyFans is probably the best solution for you. But I mean, I think what we're seeing with the creator economy is there's either like flat pricing that's supposed to be like as wide as possible, right? And then like more expensive pricing that's supposed to be like more intimate or like higher quality engagements. And it'll be interesting to see how that landscape plays out.
Yeah, I mean, having exclusive pricing makes sense. There's a couple of publications that I always go back and forth debating on subscribing to. It's so funny how like the $10 or $20 or $30 monthly subscriptions are like things that you're like, oh, I'll prune that one. Like the Wall Street Journal, for example.
Yeah, it's a recession.
I subscribe to it, then I unsubscribe to it. Yet like there's something else that I'm sure I'm paying like thousands of dollars, which is my apartment, but then also like the hosting for our website and things like that. Like I could turn off a server and save us $300 a month.
100%. Like, yeah, I had the same thing. I like canceled like, Paramount Plus. It's like $7.99. And it also took me a year and a half to cancel my Athletic Greens subscription, which was like $70 a month. And I have like 2 years of that shit backlogged.
Everybody buys the powder. Nobody consumes the powder. It's so gross, man. It's so gross.
It's so nasty, bro. I've tried it. I'm like, yeah, maybe this thing will help me just consume greens quicker. And I'm like, this tastes like I'm just drinking chalk.
It's not good for you. You're not supposed to eat powder that comes in a plastic container shipped by some like United States startup. That's just not what you're evolved to eat. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into this weather report with Kix. No signal today. Kix will be running this weather report. Then we will dive into some of the stories. Kix, please take it away.
Hey, today is Wednesday, October the 17th. Market volume coming in 8.5 million. We got Blur at 3.8. We got OpenSea at 2.1. Ew. NFT market leaders, Bored Apes down 5% to 24 ETH. Sorry, bunny. Pudgy Penguins are down 2%. Captain's leading the way once again, up 7% to 3.9. Other movers include wins of Yawanawa, down 16% to sub 10 ETH after some Blur farmers dumping. Those pesky Blur farmers, can't you stop it? Grapes are down 20%, and Cool Cats are up 13% to 0.5 ETH. I thought they went to 1.3. What happened there? Over the past 24 hours, Courtyard sold out 500 Legend of the Haunted Vault Pokemon packs for $100 each in 77 seconds as demand for the Chase Pokemon cards continue. Magic Eating is looking to capitalize on that demand as well. Major copycats, as it will sell 100 tokenized Pokemon cards on Solana for 3 Solana each. There's now an allow list for this drop, and it's expected to sell out instantly. Yuga Labs CEO Daniel Legre sharing a surprisingly honest reflection on his tenure so far as CEO, including his early realization that the team would have a very hard time executing on all of the initiatives it had taken on. Lackluster deliverables on other side trips and the heavy metal fortune.
Dude, just cut out the music. Cut out the music.
I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it. You always figure out.
And they reiterated that the company's 3 core priorities. Huh?
There you go. Cut the music. It's way better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Looking over at SocialFi, things may be turning around as the AVAX-based Stars Arena has reopened its trading functionality 10 days after the contract was drained. And Friendtech recorded $3 million in trading volume yesterday, a 50% day-over-day increase, but down big from their highs a couple of weeks ago. Last but not least, ApeCoin DAO's Ape Accelerator was launched, which will act as an incubator for ApeCoin projects built by Forge, an Animoca Brands subsidiary. This comes just days after Animoca Brands also added another 2 million ApeCoin to its Mochaverse delegate wallet, which is controlled by the Mochaverse NFT holders' majority votes. That's it for the weather report. Sorry about the audio issues. We'll get it next time. Back to you in the studio.
Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it, buddy.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, some updates from the Daily Digest. Ladies and gentlemen, the Daily Digest is posted to X every morning. It's pinned up top, and it's emailed to anyone that subscribes at thenifty.com. So make sure you go to thenifty.com to subscribe. First story, Reddit has shut down their blockchain-based community points, and the associated Moon token price crashed 90% as a result. Nick?
I didn't even know this was a thing.
Yeah, when you upvote or give points to people, they actually had a token for it. So you could buy it and then gift them this instead of like gifting them gold and the other ways that they traditionally did it. And certain subreddits had their own iterations of value where like you could buy this token for this sub community. And yeah, clearly they said that they're sunsetting it. And right when they did, that's when that giant red candle happened.
Tough one. That's a tough chart. Giancarlo, friend of the show, Giancarlo Buys Tokens, had a tweet on this, basically commenting on Reddit and their approach to Web3. The fact that they just capitulated the bottom. It is always funny.
Up?
The chart? Go ahead.
Yeah. I just want it. Could you zoom out all time on it? Just want to see. Oh wow.
It's a healthy retrace. It's found support.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have on the video feed, we have the chart pulled up, and it looks like a black diamond ski slope. I'll tell you that, and it's not looking great. And
No, this isn't black diamond. That is a cliff, Pio.
it's a half pipe. Artifact.
No, it's a straight down.
It's like the type of thing you see in like the extreme X Games. Okay, Artifact.
No, not even. It's more extreme than that.
Artifact released shoe designs for the Nike Dunk Genesis with the first forge period beginning today at 12 p.m. Eastern time at $222 each. Look, it's an interesting shoe. Nick?
What the hell do NFTs have to do with this anymore? Like, can we just skip the NFT thing and just acknowledge their like design skills? Artifact does have incredible design and partnerships. What do the NFTs have to do with any of this at this point? Like, instead, that's just like this unnecessary complexity associated with like purchasing these items. Like, there's just all this friction for no reason whatsoever. And
all the shoes.
It also takes so long to get them. Like, you forge today, you'll get them in 6 months. Right now, there's still renders, which I'm like, but I love how these look. Like the white colorway looks so good.
I got a notification that my Murakami sneakers are on their way.
Oh, let's
go. I'd be shocked if these looked like it's $22 for how good these renders looks. Actually seems like cheap. You would think that they would need like $350 to make these look really good. So I say 50% chance they come out looking good, 50% chance they look like a kid waiting for the school bus in middle school, you know, just sitting at the stop, rocking these little bulky ass goofy things.
220 direct from the original manufacturer. Those resale will be like $1,000 plus.
Yeah, I'd probably say out the gate 650, 700 on the resale. Like personally, a little lower than 1K just because of the supply on them. The other thing that people are forgetting is you still need to spend 0.11 on the sneaker, the NFT, to then spend 225 on the shoes. So you have to buy the NFT to then get the shoes. And these shoes are only, like, I believe, being raised. Yeah, right around there, like 350-ish, right around there.
Well, there's one thing that's for certain is the sneakerhead flipper people are not going to go through all that friction to be able to get the shoe. Nick?
Got another thing for certain. Kicks will just not allow we'll just plow over anybody on the show. So, well, that's a guarantee. Any thoughts that you have right now? I prefer that you interrupt me as I'm speaking, Kicks. So go ahead. While I'm speaking.
I'm not a fashion guy. I'm not a fashion guy. So like you shouldn't get my advice on that. I just personally think that like that seems like a complex shoe to make, especially with like the little thing that sits on the tongue of it. So yeah, I'll be interesting to see how they come out like actual production.
It's definitely a cool shoe. To get the Murakami shoe that I'm sure when it drops is probably going to trade. I don't know anything about the shoe market, but I have to think on StockX, there will be liquidity and there will be sales on the Murakami shoe. It took like 15 months from day one to when the shoe comes. It might even be more.
I think the time is going to get more and more efficient as they release things here. I think they're probably building a backlog of designs, and that's the way that it normally operates, so that you have a consistent release cycle involved with this. The problem was they were taking the NFT approach, which was more of a Kickstarter format for a lot of these different items, and the manufacturing of shoes just takes a while. I can't wait to be rocking my Murakami drips in the streets, just for people to just recognize the.
You bringing them out to Amsterdam, Nick?
If I have them by them, maybe that's what I should be wearing around.
They look good.
I know that Pio's going to spill some drink on it. No, I'm just kidding. Was it me that spilled the drink on it? I forget what happened. When remember in Miami, we went to at Art Basel. We went to the Metaversal event, and I picked up new sneakers in Miami because the old ones were crap. So I just literally swapped out my sneakers, got a new pair of the same ones. Spill wine or something like that. I thought you spilled it on me, but whatever it was, or we bumped into each other and I somehow spilled wine on it. I then go and grab a napkin off the bar and I go and to clean it off. And the napkin itself was black and just smears the black. Like the ink is a cheap napkin, just smears all over the shoe, permanently stained. Like there was no getting that out. Although I've since learned, my girlfriend puts my sneakers in the washing machine and
take the laces out first.
Holy shit. I'm getting fresh sneakers on the regular. It's pretty nice. It's game changing. The lifespan of those sneakers has dramatically expanded.
Yeah. I mean, dry cleaning was usually what I would do. However, I don't invest in my shoes anymore because they just, they get destroyed and I just buy them on sale. I got a drippy pair of New Balance 550s, which by the way, apparently are hot right now because one picture came out of Taylor Swift wearing them, which totally undoes any sort of coolness I possibly had for wearing them over the past 2 years. Taylor Swift just ripped all the coolness away from me. And now I see like regular Joes walking down the street with the New Balance 550s. I'm like, come on, man, this is BS.
Here's the thing. You're just ahead of the curve on things. You were 3 years early to espresso martinis. You were early to New Balance 550s. What's next?
I don't drink espresso martinis. I just pointed out that you found out about them 4 years after they were popular in New York. Anyway, there you go. Yes, she's wearing the New Balance 550s. Next story, Memeland teased their meme point farming feature, which will reward users meme coin for performing certain behavior, including adding meme coin to your Twitter name, posting tweets about meme coin, and more. Cool Cats introduced Cool Cats avatars. It's a way for holders to update and redress their Cool Cat assets using various tradable wearables, both free and paid. Can't buy pandas. CEO Icebags teased the partial ownership of the Platinum Bare Knuckle Fight League. So doing a bare knuckle fight league probably because of his close association with Mike Perry, who is rising to prominence in bare knuckle boxing right now.
I'm just sick of like the celebrity boxing, like bare knuckle. Like I want to see celebrity bare knuckle.
Dude, it's also Mike Perry's nickname, Platinum Perry.
Oh, there you go. So he must be collabing with, Mike Perry's going to get rich. There you go. Bare knuckle is a lot for me to digest. It's just a lot. World of
aggressive.
I don't watch it, man. It's too much. World of Women's luxury themed Monopoly board is now on sale for $249.
Bare knuckle, is it like blood weapon?
Have you guys never seen it, by the way? The bare knuckle? Have you guys never seen it?
Let's finish on bare knuckle, then we'll talk about the Monopoly board. What are you guys saying about bare knuckle?
Well, the Kicks is just imagining it right now, and he's just dying laughing. Dude, they literally just put a thin line of tape over their knuckles and are just punching each other in the face. And the thing about bare knuckle too is when a person goes to the ground, it's UFC rules without grappling. So you can still punch them while they're on the ground. It's not like boxing where once they hit the ground, you have to like move away. It's like you can beat the shit out of the guy the second he hits the floor.
In the popular bare knuckle fight league that Mike Perry's competing
You
in,
can still throw punches while they're down for the knockout. And I only know
didn't
this
know
because I watched, there was a celebrity bare knuckle fighting, which Blueface the rapper was in. And the fight before him, a guy got knocked down and just got his absolute clock cleaned right
Why
after.
don't we just fast forward and call it Murder League? And, and just like, yo, that guy got murdered.
Who wants to see some death?
With a bow and an arrow, just shoots the guy with the bow and an arrow to start the fight.
The straight Hunger Games, just in a ring.
He got marked.
Bunny, you have your hand raised. Something to chime in on the bare knuckle stuff?
Yeah, did you guys see the Bryce Hall fight, dude? Bryce Hall, popular TikToker and Super Yeti holder. He recently jumped into the bare knuckle league, and he got the dub, dude. He was like, he got a knockout. It's crazy. He beat an undefeated guy.
What? Wait, you know absolutely everything about like Gen Z popular items, but your children aren't even old enough to be sharing this with you. You just find it on.
Bunny's like 22, PO.
How do you keep up with all this stuff,
Big
Bunny?
TikTok guy.
Big TikTok guy. Okay. Well, I got real quick, since we talked about, bare knuckle for a moment, and it sounds like this fight league that Campai is starting is in partnership with Mike Perry. This is just a really funny clip that I don't know. I want to share with you guys. It's super quick. This is the trash talk leading up to a fight.
That's why I become champion in 2 different promotions. I'm about to champion your face on April 29th.
Right? What happened after you said that?
Well, hey.
Last time you believed in yourself.
Hey.
When's the last time Michael Bisping knocked somebody out?
Hey.
It's a long clip.
Hey, brother. You got fucked up
You
by
throw
Daniel
an ugly
Rodriguez,
ass
and you
left
come out
hand.
looking like a
It's
dog.
been a
Ready?
while since I've been fucked up, and I live
Hey.
to get fucked up.
You're
I
about
like
ready to
getting
get
fucked
fucked
up. I
up.
drink on the weekdays. I like to get fucked up.
All right, I thought that. All right, you can cut it. I like to get fucked up. I drink on the weekdays is probably the best trash talk I've ever heard.
Well, I like the first one, which is I'm gonna champion your face.
That is pretty good.
What is that even? I'm gonna champ. Like I'm a champion your face.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Bunny, you got your hand raised again?
Yeah, Nick, would you rather fight in a bare knuckle fight against a professional or spend $250 on a Monopoly board?
I'm gonna go with the Monopoly board, but
Give me the bare knuckle fight.
I don't know. Well, it depends on if I'm getting paid for the bare knuckle fight. Then now it becomes interesting. I mean, if I can fight the same way that Logan Paul fights, then I'm actually down to do any sort of physical sport, combat sport, because we're just gonna dance like basically around the ring, and we'll tap each other a couple times, maybe a bruise here or there, but like I can just dance around the ring for 15 minutes, and I'm good to go.
Dude, the way things are trending, just who knows what's going to happen in the next 3 years. There might be a boxing match.
It's going to be bare knuckle dancing. Like we're just going to get together, and I'm going to be like spinning my knuckles around, just getting ready. They're coming at you. Just kidding. Just kidding. Like let's dance, basically, is what's going to go on there. And it's going to be a dance off. Maybe we can go oh my God, Grease or something like that, or like West Side Story, and we just have like a little like snap off, and we just little scoot inside, as we go and do it.
Well, we do have the OSF boxing match coming up here soon in a couple of weeks. I just saw Mr. Yellow post that. I'm excited for that. I'm excited to watch him throw hands.
What's going on in Amsterdam with the fact that why is every conference taking place in Amsterdam right now?
These things get trendy, man, and I don't know, like all the conferences are in Amsterdam. Nick, you would know better than me. In other industries during the social media time, was it as conference heavy where every single month you can go to a different conference?
Yeah, and I will say, well, it's interesting that we say during social media time, because like the early social media was blogs, and so you were networking with people that you were writing about, and you'd write blogs. You used to link to other blogs, basically, and so you'd get notified when someone linked to you. So you were kind of building relationships online. but it wasn't the same style that we have right now, where like everyone is just so online. So it's slightly different. But yeah, I basically built an entire network by just going to conferences. Going to conferences is a key thing, especially when you're young as well. I think that it's really important as you're getting into an industry. Like if you don't have a reputation or something like that, and you want to start building, or even if you're building a reputation, it's a great opportunity. In-person networking is always key. So yes, conferences have always been a thing. I've always found it fascinating. You don't need to sit there and like pay attention to literally anything going on in the conference. It's all about just like building relationships with people in the halls, and at different parties and things like that. So, but yeah, I mean, networking has always been a thing. That's not new. The thing that is interesting to me is that it's like in these cities, in crypto, it's a more global thing. And so there's a lot of activity in what would not be like the main key cities, which I think of like, London, New York, LA, maybe throw in Tokyo or something like that. But I had never gone to any of those things. Going to like Asia for a tech conference was like totally like a crazy idea. And it was like a delegation was going to discuss technology in another country, including like India or China. It would be to like explore what's going on in those areas. Since then, now like China is just such a dominant tech force. India, I don't know. So like things have evolved a lot, but yeah, it's always been networking. Unrelated, this World of Women thing, man. A $250 Monopoly board. What the fuck am I doing with the $250 Monopoly board?
Displaying it.
Well, my question is actually just, is it limited run? Because it actually does make sense to me if it's like a run of 100 of them or 150 or 500 of them, like a finite amount of them, collector's item. It would make sense if it was Star Wars or Pokemon. The question is whether it makes sense for an NFT brand that's been around for 2 years and it's unclear whether it will be around in 6 years. That's the part of it that's tough. But I like the Monopoly board play, because developing a cool board game with your intellectual property is actually very cool. So those are my thoughts on it. I want to know if it's limited run, what the story is, but yeah.
How do you get to the Monopoly page to check this out?
The Monopoly page, like the official Monopoly.
Page, yeah, the page on here. Oh, that actually does look cool.
Looks pretty sweet.
Yeah, I mean, there's a store in either Lower East Side or East Village that is basically all custom chessboards, Star Wars, Pokemon, Simpsons, like all these really, really cool items. And this is just in that vein. The question is, though, will World of Women as a intellectual property brand
phallic as hell? What the hell is going on there?
So that's a very normal comment from Nick. There's some wins of Yawanawa I want to show you, Nick, and get your
you act like, dude, if someone posted a picture of a penis on the screen, you'd be like, yo, dude, why are you calling that thing phallic? I can't believe you call that thing phallic, dude. Always Nick with the dirty mind. It's literally a picture of a penis. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm not being crazy by saying that. In fact, you're gaslighting me by telling me that I'm not seeing the things that I'm actually seeing there. Real quick, though, the page that I'm talking about, how do I see? Is there a product page that outlines this? Because the one that's linked from the newsletter, Clemente, does not let me see the actual World of Women thing. It's like 16 things I got to click on. You're muted.
I didn't understand the whole drop page. Like, I go on and they were showing me like 9 different galaxies that I had to click through. I literally just went to buy now and it showed me this, and then it like,
here we go. Okay, I see. And actually, I have another page. So enter adventure.
Yeah, I didn't understand the once upon a time ordinary. Like, I didn't know what to.
So I just want to say I take back some of the negativity. The stuff that Jenny from the blockchain was showing there looked pretty sick. And I think the packaging on this is pretty awesome. So it does look cool. I think the PO's point, the limited edition, is another question, but it does look really cool. I wonder why they like selected this particular item. But and is this an official brand partnership with Mattel, or can anyone like go and just create this sort of thing?
Oh, I think it's. I don't know if it would be in partnership with Mattel versus a custom vendor. Clemente.
No, I wish I had this information ready. I never know what Nick is gonna like hone in on.
I don't think I see anything. I don't see any Mattel logos on this board game. Instead, it shows World of Women. So I feel like they licensed Monopoly specifically, but it does not show the Mattel branding. As far as I can see anywhere on this box, I can't zoom into this. Oh, I can zoom in. It says Hasbro. Sorry, I was wrong. Hasbro is the one that has it. There is one small logo on the box, but I don't know. I'm interested in learning about it. What's also cool, what I saw there was the different icons are from other collections. So you got Cool Cats, you got a Crypto Punk, you have it looks like a Clone X. You have an ape, you have a World of Women. What is the circle character? I don't know what that one is.
I think you're referring to the V friend.
Oh, that's V friend. I mean, that is pretty cool. Everyone that makes the 3D punks makes them look like garbage. I don't know what the heck that's
So
about.
World of Women did tweet that it's a World of Women times Hasbro, and it's the first ever collaboration between Monopoly and an NFT brand that's happening. So they tweeted that on June 28th. So it does seem like this is an official collaboration between the two.
That would make
WS Game Company is the people, and so they have Clue Lux Edition. So it does look like they manufacture this sort of thing, but it seems like this is a partner which works with formerly Winning Solutions, was founded in 2000 by two former Parker brother Milton Bradley Hasbro Games employees, an authorized licensee of Hasbro.
That's dope. Okay, so they worked with an official partner of Hasbro that was former people from the industry that said, we want to make a boutique, limited run sort of, high-end customized version of the games, right? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, this image, though, that you're showing here, Clemente, on the screen makes it look like the flat version of the board versus they actually had a wooden board that this thing is sitting on, which makes it almost feel like a high-end chess game. Regardless, I do like I do like the shape of it and things like that, and it is a pretty cool piece. I live in New York, so I don't have space to put this anywhere. I mean, I guess I technically do, but
you can put it on your couch like all those other objects. Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, last story.
Last week, PO, and there are no objects there. Okay, so thank you. PO shows up after I've been on a trip, basically, and is like, "Wow, this place is just a complete disaster. It's a pigsty. What the hell is wrong with you, Nick?"
I didn't say pigsty.
You said you came in. You called me a peasant when you walked in the door, and you told me. And you said, learn how to keep yourself clean. You stink.
Okay. Well, anyway, last story. Twitter will begin testing their Not a Bot program in New Zealand and the Philippines, where new unverified accounts will need to pay $1 per year to be able to tweet and interact with posts. We will have to see if that does anything for the bot problem that we are all facing on X right now. It's as bad as it's ever been, in my opinion. Anyway, big story. Daniel Allegre, Yuga Labs CEO, put a X post out addressing community concerns. I read the whole thing before the show today. He posted a very long and honest tweet about his tenure so far as Yuga CEO. We've pinned the tweet to the top so you can read it there on X. I want to get Kix's take. Kix, did you get a chance to take a look at this and see what Daniel Allegre said?
Yeah, I read the whole thing earlier this morning. Yeah, man. I mean, I think, first of all, I think it's great that he came out with like a response like that, based on just the negative energy that was going around the community the past week or two. Because if you don't nip that stuff in the bud, it can really turn toxic and kind of compound on itself. So I think it was good that he did that. I also kind of, feel not bad isn't the right word, but it's kind of like, when you look at this guy's career, right? I think he's kind of been on the side of just like winners with a playbook, right? That's like sort of proven out, and he's just got to like keep executing down this path versus like he comes into this thing and it's like jumping into the middle of like World War I. You're in trench warfare, you know what I mean? And you got no clue what's going on, and you're just trying to survive. You're not trying to win the war. You're just trying to like not lose.
Just make it home every day. That's basically the end goal. I was happy with some of the comments he made too. Like, it sounds like he's really trying. He did comment that he's attended a ton of events to really learn about like the culture of this space and realized a lot from those, and really had like segmented breakdowns for basically every part of the business, including Meebits, where I was like, oh, dope. This guy's very conscious of the Meebits situation, and kind of like had like some interior conversation about it where he was like, yeah, we get what Meebits have been. We get where CryptoPunks have been. We're trying to do X, Y, Z for everything. The 10K TF acknowledgement was really strong. I was very happy reading this because I was like, it seems like he might get this. It like really seems like he understands it. And he also doubled down on the Yuga's previous message, where I think he was actually the letter that he wrote basically saying like, we're going all in on other side, and kind of reiterated that.
What he doesn't understand is how to write a Twitter post for people to read, which is that you need a line between each sentence. So he does have some big blocks of text. I agree with Kix on this position. It's like a banker that's been in the space for 30 years, goes and revives an old bank, basically. They keep having the playbook, and then someone's like, yo, come on over to the fintech side where we have 70 lawsuits pending against that. Like, just like some like complete like disaster of a situation. The guy doesn't even need to do it. Like, he has no obligation to like deal with this bullshit. And I like how he's like, you know, I've gone to the community events and I appreciate all the feedback. What he really needs to be is like, the best way to be in this is just come out and be like, y'all are some real pieces of shit. Okay. Y'all come in and talk a lot of trash. We are working our butt off here, and y'all don't know anything about business. That was my greatest takeaway from it. Not a single one of you have an entrepreneurial bug in your body. You bought an ape and suddenly the price went up and you think you're an entrepreneur. Go screw yourself, okay? What's going to happen is we're going to put our heads down and we're going to dominate in a way that you have never seen domination before, and you're going to shut your damn mouth and watch us execute, because I was born for this moment, you weak assholes. And then people will just be like, all right, I'm on board. I'm ready to buy this thing. You know, like, let me go buy another ape. Like that's what he needs to come out, is just destroy the morale of anybody who dare comes across Daniel Allegre rather than this thing, which is like, you know, I really inspected what was going on within the community. I really think that you guys are just a great bunch of people. You're talking to crackheads. You're basically going in and being like, yo, and trying to have a rational conversation with people while they're high on crack. So I just don't like, that's just a challenging thing. Kix, how does he work his way out of this and actually earn the respect in a way that these jerk offs can actually like provide?
Well, like one of the I remember like a lot of gaming companies, not so much this year, but like the previous year, they'd be like, we're doing gaming, but then we're also going to make a comic book, and we're also going to do a TV show, and we're also going to do licensing and merchandising, right? And it's like, instead of being laser focused on one thing, right? And now we're seeing all these gaming companies succeed, and they're really laser focused on one thing. I thought it was kind of funny and ironic that Daniel was like, we have too much on our plate. We need to consolidate. On that note, let me update you on the following things. The club, Made by Apes, partnerships, CryptoPunks, Meebits, 10KTF, Other Side Gaming, and don't forget Ordinals. All of these. So, I mean, this dude, they got a shot. You know, they really need to probably consolidate it even further. But he does mention that they're going to try to tie it all into the other side. That's going to be the unifying factor. I think that maybe gives them the single mission. But I thought this was the most interesting part of the entire story. It was the section gaming. I am keenly aware that while Dookie Dash was a fun gaming experience, we have fallen well short of expectations with Forge. He goes into talking yada, yada, yada. And he says, I have said many times that I don't want Yuga to be a gaming company per se. I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah, I do want to enable gaming and other digital experiences. Yet I do view games as a core foundational element.
Do you know why he's saying that? He's saying that for two reasons. It's in line with his, we're not a gaming company, we're a community company, to try to appeal to the NFT space. And he's not trying to alienate the very significant percentage of people that hold Yuga assets that don't care about the game at all, never will, and only care about the price going up. He can't alienate that sizable majority audience. It's a majority audience. Most people that own Yuga Labs don't care about the games and they only want the price to go up. But he has to go build a business, and that's the push and pull. That's the struggle. This guy went to Princeton, graduated cum laude, got his MBA from HBS, got a law degree from Harvard afterwards. So he's a Harvard, he did HBS and Harvard Law School, worked at Google, was the president and COO of Activision Blizzard. Now he comes to Yuga Labs, wants to make a Web3 gaming empire, but realizes the price of the NFTs has to go up. And it's
well, he's also on the board of Sleep Number. So I bet that dude's sleeping real good.
Hey, sleep's at the foundation of literally everything. So you got to make sure that that sleep is key. I haven't been on, 100% recently, and it's made me realize that like I'm not living up to expectations as a seasoned executive. Having gone to my resume is very comparable with this guy, Daniel. It's pretty much like a 1-for-1 sort of.
Yeah, it's pretty spot on. I was looking at it yesterday. You guys are like gaming CEO, founders, COOs. You guys have been crushing it. Nick has done some incredible things in the gaming space.
Give him another 15 years. He's going to be the CEO of Shorgam-Heimenheimen, the Web4 company.
Well, Shorgam-Heimenheimen, which I have no idea what that is, but I think maybe I'll become the 60-year-old Dave Portnoy. That's where I'm headed. That's the path. I love that. Because it took him so long to get the newsletter to turn into I think it was like 10 years or something before it became something meaningful. Yeah. So we got another 8. I'm going to be turning 50 basically around the time.
He's 5 years older than you. You can catch up because of Web3. Web3.
Yeah, you can catch up easily. Some people in the comments are saying that we forgot about the most important part of the message. C7AVG donated 10 pounds. Are pounds worth as much as dollars anymore?
They're worth more.
Yeah,
okay, thanks for that. And he says, P.S. also Clubhouse. And then someone else also mentioned that we weren't picking up on the P.S. also Clubhouse. And
sorry, I don't understand. What about Clubhouse?
They're gonna make a Clubhouse like the board.
Oh yeah, yes. Well, that's always been on the roadmap. I assumed it was in development. There's so many things that they're focusing on at this moment in time. It's just like, guys, you got to narrow the focus with $100 million, in the bank. You can't afford to make another misstep with $100 million available.
I didn't think you were trolling at first. I thought you got $100.
They should spawn out different companies, though, is the best way to do it. And that would be of the Web3 sort of approach. To have these parent entities is actually, I think the what's the gaming company that does that in the Web3 space that behind Rec League and some of these other things?
Enway?
Oh no, not Enway. Animoca.
Animoca. Yeah, Animoca.
Animoca launches different brands essentially, which are their own independent entities and have people running those things. I think they really should, like Meebit they should spawn out a bunch of the things, but keep like 1 or 2 things in-house. Be like, we're really focused on Bored Ape Yacht Club and building the value there. The biggest problem is they have so much funding and they're so well capitalized that they still need to be deeply invested. I also think what they could do is they could launch an incubator sort of studio thing. The problem is, like I said, nobody in Web3 is actually an entrepreneur. So the problem is you're just going to lose money on all the deals that you fund, because everyone that raised funding like a year ago, 95% of them have just quit. They just shut down the company. They were like, yeah, the product market fit didn't show up. I realized we raised $15 million, but it's just not going to work out. So we're going to peace out. It's like, you quit after 12 months. What the hell? What the hell is going on? This is ridiculous. So
Yeah, we've seen it firsthand too with people that we've hired that, we're like, dude, I'm so into this. I can't wait to like, really sink my teeth into it. And then they just won't do anything. And they're like, yeah, I quit after three weeks, or we've had to let them go because they just wouldn't do anything. That is definitely really rampant. There's differences in understanding of work ethic and what good work product actually is. Daniel Allegre knows good work product. He just didn't know, oh, wait, I'm not just building a video game. People are going to be in my face about asset prices going up during a bear market every day.
Well, in our case, you also need to show the fact, you need a live stream of the fact that you're actually slaving away for the holders, because otherwise, like in our case, for example, they think we get off the show and then we're just chilling on a boat, basically.
Making my way downtown, walking fast.
What?
I know
Was that your
fine,
way
but
of-
what's the
are you
context of that?
Are you
I was like
scoring?
I was supporting his point, which is like we get off this call and then we're just kind of like making our way downtown, walking fast. You know what I mean? Just chilling.
Is that what that song is communicating? Is that the
Not
person?
That's how I picked up on in White Girls. That's how I kind of picked up on the vibes.
White
So
chicks.
Yeah, white chicks, whatever.
The name of the Wayans brothers film is White Chicks, not White Girls.
But it's
No,
close.
that's a second release, White Girls.
Na-na-na-na-na-na.
Da-na-na-na-na-na.
You're randomly referencing the scene with Terry Crews in that movie. Anyway, yes, Nick, sorry, Kicks really just
I thought I was just giving background music to his point, where he's like, "Yeah, we just hop off this call."
that was like an open field tackle. Like literally, Kicks just comes in like a safety, like Brian Dawkins, and just just
like in
smash
Wedding
me.
Crashers, PO, when it's supposed to be like touch, just absolutely just demolishing.
Bradley Cooper, very funny character.
All right, Nick.
All right. But that is true. We had somebody, just a fun fact, we had somebody internally tell us, he proactively said to us, I never in a million years did I understand how much work goes into this. I was like, yeah, it's a business. Like, what do you think? It's easy. Everyone can do it. Yeah, it's super easy. Anyway, moving on to the Y00ts bridge, which we've been trying to talk about for 3 days, but we had a coin telegraph pump and dump thing happen. We had some other news
lecturing about some random subject yesterday about how great the inner city press guy is for 40 minutes. I mean, that was a banger.
I did, ladies and gentlemen, have a a text message written to Nick that I almost hit enter on at 9:26 yesterday. It was very politely worded. It was just FYI, you've talked 22 out of the 24 minutes so far in the show, just to let him know. But then I didn't even end up sending it because I was like, it's fine, let him talk. Anyway, Y00ts bridge, easy. What is the result of the Y00ts bridge thus far?
Yeah, so we've seen over 50% of Y00ts be bridged, which was a little bit higher than I think many people actually expected. So kudos to them right now. The tough part is they currently have 3 different chains with Y00ts on it. You have Solana, Polygon, and ETH. Solana has a 66% royalty if you're trading Y00ts on there. Polygon has a 33.3% royalty if you're trading them there. And then it's 0.33% royalty on Blur and OpenSea now. So yeah, really interesting. Tubes you can still only buy on Solana and actually reveal them, and then you have to bridge them. So there's like all these mechanics.
Easy. You can't bridge the tube right to Ethereum,
No,
right?
tubes are only Solana, so they will stay on Sol until they're all
But then
burned.
how do you get them to Ethereum? Can you explain that process?
There's a bridge. So you'd buy a tube on Sol, spend the Solana to burn it. You'd get a U on Solana, then you have to bridge it to ETH.
Gotcha. You don't have to bridge it to Polygon then.
No, there's no pit stop in the middle to refuel for gas to then get it over to ETH. There's no like highway pullover section where you got to stop briefly for a couple hours. No, but there is that. We haven't really seen the Blur farming situation like really bring them down too much. They're essentially, I think, at 0.8, which is right where they were before this. But yeah, dude, I have no idea what's going on with Y00ts. They've been out for almost a year now, a little over a year, I think, or approaching a year, and all we've gotten is 2 bridges. So they did have like some long form post saying like this phase of the mint and process is called clarity, where we'll give you answers on what's been happening. But yeah, I have no idea, man.
I feel for them. I think that there's like the problem is listening to the community, which again, I'm now of the mindset that you need to just put everybody in their place and call them the pieces of crap that they truly are, and let them know that you're going to proceed with the business as you plan. And if you want to come along, great. Otherwise, bug off, like, because I'm not building it for you. I'm building it for me. Okay. And that's what it's all about. And if you want to follow, if you guys want to go lead it, go build a business. You go build the business and then you go run it and then come back to me and tell me what it's like running that business. But otherwise, shut your damn mouth and watch a dominant leader lead and become the future while you're sitting there just talking shit and throwing stones the entire time. Because that's what an NFT community is all about, is basically throwing stones at the creators of the thing that they just bought, which is like the worst environment to be operating in ever. Daniel Allegre is dealing with this right now. And this guy's being kind as he's being stoned, which is just so ludicrous.
That's what Jesus would have done.
What's that, Kicks?
That's what Jesus would have done, though.
Would have what?
He would have smiled while he got stoned.
Well, he would have died on the cross for
Yeah.
your sins, Kicks.
Yeah.
So that's what would have happened there.
Then he
For the
resurrected
sins
man.
of the NFT degen community. I mean, the Daniel Allegre situation is wild, though, just because. Anyway, Kicks, go ahead. Go.
No, you go.
No, I didn't want to change the subject.
Okay.
Go ahead, Kicks.
Okay, yeah, because I'm happy to go back there too. But just to give you a little math here, right? Because like, unless I'm wrong, and Easy's kind of the in-house expert resident here, they got $4 million to go to Polygon, right? So you would think that or three. Okay, you got $3 million. I'm gonna have to redo some math here real quick. You got $3 million to go to Polygon. So you think like just like mathematically, you would want to take that, right, and like do stuff for y00ts with it, right? And now they're essentially giving that money back and then moving to Ethereum. In order for them to make $3 million in royalties, and this is only on OpenSea, right? Blur trading, you don't even get the 3.33%, right? They get like 0.5%.
Well, and it's not
right?
enforced on OpenSea.
It's not, yeah. They would have to do $90 million in volume to get $3 million if that 3.3% was actually valid, which we know it's not. So really for them to get this $3 million, they would have to do $400 million in secondary volume. It's just not going to happen. So I would really love to understand how that whole situation went down, because it's a bear market. Like you should be protecting every, dollar that you have in the bank, right? Instead of being like, Polygon doesn't have enough volume, let's just give this $3 million back. And then, because my understanding is it's not like they made a shit ton of money off of y00ts anyways. You bought it with dust, right?
It was all dust. So there was actually no monetary gain.
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess I understand being on Ethereum with all of your products at least makes it like a little bit more aligned, but that's not going to like turn a issue into like a massive success.
It's only led to more issues though, in my opinion, because now you have y00ts on 3 chains. You have their token dust also on 3 chains. That's on Solana, Polygon, and ETH right now. So you have just this disparate ecosystem from jumping chains that becomes significantly harder to manage. And now every time you build something on ETH, obviously for both parties here, you also have to be conscious of these ones that are sitting on these other chains and trying to make that process as seamless as possible to get them over to ETH for like whatever deliverables are going to happen.
It's a lot going on. Hoping that it will play out in a strong way. Clemente?
Yeah, the only thing I'll add here is that in the last 24 hours, so they basically got up to 9,000 y00ts bridged, let's just say in the first 48 hours. In the last 24 hours, because basically they were incentivizing everyone to bridge with a 10 y00t giveaway, now in the last 24 hours, they've only had 300 y00ts bridged to Ethereum. So they still have 5,000 left to bridge from Polygon to Ethereum. That pretty much there's not too much activity to do so, because the price is literally just stays the same. So that's another piece they're going to have to work with.
Yeah, that's super interesting. I mean, here's what I'll say. y00ts, I really loved the art on y00ts, still do. Like, I think it was just super unique, like really cool, fit a spot in the PFP market that like wasn't copy paste of some of the things. It was its unique style. I think a lot of people agree with me. I think a lot of people rock y00ts and like really enjoy it from an art perspective. And personally, I like when I bought a Ute, I didn't buy a Ute thinking that there was like some sort of complex roadmap. Maybe there was, but like I just bought it because I was like, I think these are really cool as a PFP. So I mean, I think there's a lot of potential that they could do stuff with Utes, but Utes could also just be Utes. Like, why can't they just be the PFP? Like, why does there have to be this expectation that it's gonna be like, I don't know, you're gonna whatever, get another NFT out of it or something?
The only other thing I'll say on this is Utes for me were always like a way to grow your platform, grow your personal brand on Twitter. Frank has basically just stopped tweeting. He used to tweet 4, 5, 6 times a day and would just drop bangers. Like the guy would get probably at least 10, 15 million impressions a month on Twitter. That number has absolutely fallen off a cliff. He's gone almost multiple weeks without tweeting, and it's very surprising to see them make that decision, and that the social platform, that the social boost that Utes used to give you because of Frank doesn't really apply anymore.
Yeah, that is interesting. He's probably in the lab with a pen and a pad just trying to get that label off. You know what I mean? Can't be tweeting when you're grinding.
I mean, I agree. I just didn't. You are something else with your one-liners. Any closing thoughts on Utes, Nick? I see you tweeting during the show saying that being an NFT founder is like trying to innovate while your, I guess, did you say customers stone you to death? Is that right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Being a founder is fun. Come on.
I enjoy being a founder. I also like talking shit about people, and my favorite group to do it is our own customers. Like,
I mean, it's definitely like a different, like it's nothing like I've done before for sure. There's there's good times, rough times, everything in between for sure.
I mean, I just think it's everybody is so vocal, dude. There's never been a more vocal group of people, and we were having a conversation last night, dude. What can you possibly get that's worth? I mean, that's worth $50,000 of value when you're holding on to like a Bored Ape or something like that. You're just not going to. Like, it's just not possible that you're going to get that. Instead, what you got was all the airdrops leading up to it, which is why I think it's interesting from that standpoint and why people still value it at that. But yeah, I don't know. It's a tough place to be, and the more money people spent, and it's actually the same no matter what. In this bit, like we deal with people that are like, I wanted to make $8 off of flipping this thing, and that it was our obligation, our duty to ensure that we delivered something that enabled them to make $8. Like that's like what you have as part of the customer base in this space. So, and I just want to let those people know that I hope they lose money. And what we're going to design our entire marketing campaign is around those people losing money and the diamond handers only. There is an idea around that where basically the law is you hold that thing, it manifests and it crystallizes and becomes the diamond handed version of the NFT that then you earned from actually diamond handing it, and it goes to another collection. And nobody. And instead, all of our other projects are just for people who are basically not diamond handing it. And over time, you unlock this elevated level where you can rise to join that group, that crew. And that's an area
I think
where
you just described Buddhism and enlightenment.
There you go. Well, look, ladies and gentlemen, last topic, meme coin marketing is starting to pick up. We've been meaning to talk about this too, and then we'll wrap. Meme coin, price go up, price go down. What do you think, Easy?
I think price go up. I genuinely do. We're seeing this run with and obviously, yes, I'm a proud community member of the meme ecosystem now after attempting to trade out of it. Now I've just become a very strong community member. But I think price go up. Just like you're seeing tokens start to run again, but not meme tokens themselves, actual like gaming tokens. And they've created a unique way for like a gamified way for people that are outside the space to earn meme token through like tweeting about it, putting I heart meme in your bio. We saw this coin Tip Coin do a similar mechanic and rack up 200,000 followers through this
Oh my
gamified
God.
social dynamic. Yeah, dude, it was nonstop. You couldn't even tweet without seeing tip
Yes.
tagged. It was so annoying, but they did a damn good job because it led to everyone talking about it and trying to farm this. And now meme coin's kind of taking a social play out of that. So I think that's smart on their part to really ramp the hype and even get people exposure by just shoving it in your face all day on the timeline. And obviously having Ray backing this with ties that he has, it's not going to shock me to see this get listed on some major tier 1 exchanges very quickly.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I could definitely see it. I mean, I'm excited to like really see what they're, unveiling. I think being like, one of these, Ethereum blue chip PFP project founders is like really tough, man. Like you either hot or you're not, right? Like when they're at 10 ETH, they're the hottest shit. Now they're at 3 ETH, whatever, but they're still there grinding, trying to make it happen. Big fan of Ray. One thing I am curious about in this market, because like, Easy, you kind of like touched on this earlier today, right? Like Big Time came out, right? ZTX came out, right? Grape is doing a pre-sale right now. Meme Land's doing a pre-sale. There's Parallel Token, right? Like, like doing things. There's even more projects on the horizon, right? Or that
There's
are launching a ton. So it's like, is there a kind of breaking point, or not a breaking point, but there's only so much liquidity out there. There's only so many active people still out there. At what point does it get a little spread too thin?
Yeah, so I do think you reach that point, but the bigger thing is like these games, they shouldn't even be targeting the Web3 audience, in my opinion. Like they should be looking elsewhere. Make a fun game. I think Big Time actually did one of the better efforts of this, but they rewarded a lot out the gate to basically be like, thank you for being here and sticking with us. And now I've tapered the rewards off. And now their game is entirely focused on like player sustainability, which you're going to have to see more of these projects do. Because when you give a massive reward, the dopamine hit is crazy, but then people go looking for the next one. So then the entire name of the game is how do we keep these people excited and incentivized, which of course is my concern about even meme coin, because we've seen such a long process for reveal, such a long process for meme coin to roll out, that like we're in this weird situation right now where I think initially price go up because you're going to get tier 1 exchanges, some of these other major players happen that get people excited, but then it's a matter of sustainability of like, what do you roll out shortly thereafter to get even more people excited about it, if that makes sense. Like you basically need to be like, all right, we have to do something great to get these same people just as excited.
And that's the hardest thing to solve for, right?
Yep.
Because like even like Friend Tech, like I got burnout on Friend Tech after like 2 or 3 weeks. Like I still log in every now and then, but it's just like it's so hard to make, like people have busy lives, right? And so they only have so much time to allocate to the entire Web3 space. And then every Web3 brand is competing for that couple hours a day that most people can give, or a couple hours a week that a lot of people can give. And they're all competing for that same space. It's really hard to stay sticky there. That's the absolute holy grail, right? That everyone's trying to achieve.
Nick, you're shaking your head.
I mean, this thing is gonna pump
Back
and
then
dump.
they didn't want me.
I'm a fan of Ray. I think this is one of the toughest things to launch and sustain. Getting into tokens, it is a death knell for basically 99% of NFT projects at this point. In fact, Reddit saying, man, fuck it. Like, we're not even using our token anymore. And it, like, in the case of Yuga Labs with ApeCoin, it's like borderline disaster with that thing, because now initially it was an airdrop that you made a bunch of money off of. So if you didn't sell and you doubled down and you tried to stake it, which we were pretty vocal about that not being a sustainable thing early on, because it just doesn't make sense mathematically that suddenly like you add more tokens to the ecosystem and price is somehow going to go up. Makes no sense. Like, it just makes no sense. The tokens are really tough, and it's catering to the worst of this space. And like I've been saying, I think what has happened is in recent months, I've just become so hardened by like the experience of this to be like, the best thing we can possibly do is build something that's awesome and just focus on that and do nothing else. And if people want to come along on that journey, great. If you don't, great. But the reality is, it's like you can't go and build for like, you can't operate in this space if you're constantly catering to all the degenerates, basically, for when it comes to building actual products that you're releasing to market. One of the beauties that we have is that like it's easy for us to have conversations about it. There's no cost for us to say, well, there's a cost, it's our time, but there's a cost to our business and that we're paying people to come on the show. But I think that like fundamentally it's cheaper than like hiring 17 engineers to go build a product that no one cares about. People are furious about heavy metal. That thing was not cheap to build. And so they invested all this money, and Daniel Allegre now has to come out and defend their actions. Daniel, tell everyone to shut the F up. You know, it's like, dude, so you made one bad game. Like, who cares? You made a good one. You made a bad one. Make the next one a good one. You know, you learn from the process. You're not going to always knock out a hit. Like the movie studios drop crap after crap after crap, and then one ends up succeeding. Yet somehow every single thing that every entrepreneur in this space, it needs to be win after win after win. That's not how entrepreneurship works. It's actually the antithesis of entrepreneurship. Yet the holders expect that the founders themselves are going to pull off some miracle of a situation that has literally never been done in the history of entrepreneurship, which is just a bunch of bullshit, basically. So at this point, fuck the holders, fuck all the people that are out there that are saying that sort of thing, because the expectations of 99% of people in this space are just completely irrational and it's like they read a magazine article about Mark Zuckerberg making $1 billion and they knew nothing else about it, and that just somehow this guy made $1 billion out of nowhere. Like, no, like that's just not the journey. Like that's just not how it works.
I'm just imagining Nick as like a executive business coach, and like he sits down for the first meeting, and this guy's like, yeah, so we kind of messed up. We changed the recipe on Coca-Cola. Customers didn't like it. So I'm coming out. I'm going to say my speech today. I'm going to apologize. Nick's like, no. Tell those guys to go fuck themselves. Like, tell them they don't like the new flavor. Shut up and drink it. You get out there, you grab that microphone, and you yell at those people.
No. The answer is change the recipe back to the original one and move on with business as usual.
I know what you're saying, though, Nick. I do completely agree that there is an expectation of like win after win after like home run after home run after home run after home run. I completely agree. And there's going to be like even the best baseball players in the world, you know, aren't batting 1,000. I do think the Yuga Labs thing is a little bit more than that, where it's like it's not just heavy metal, right? It's also like what's going on with other side, right? Like there was the last journey or whatever was 8 months ago, right? So I think there's a little bit more of like accumulation of things versus just like a one-off. Like I think if it was just like, hey, heavy metal was not the best game experience, the next one's going to be better, you know, we probably wouldn't have gone all of this. I think it's a little bit bigger, but I completely agree with your point for sure.
We got YouTube commenters saying 9-hour Nick to the moon, go Nick, 1000x long Nick. Pretty good stuff. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's our show. We do the show, if it's your first time listening, we do the show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern time, right here on Twitter Spaces. Also available on YouTube, also available on Apple and Spotify podcasts. That video feed is on YouTube and on Twitter if you want to actually watch the show versus just listen to the show. If you want to share the show with people outside of the Twitter bubble, then you can check it out on Apple and Spotify podcasts. Really appreciate everybody listening. We will be back tomorrow.